What's up, everyone, and welcome to episode 257 of the Aussie Gamers Experience podcast. In the show this week, Blood and Blackjack, Time to Rage, Leaky Gears, Tom's Ghost, State of Play, E3 is a coming, Dreams Can Come True, Adelaide wants you to get over there, and much, much more. Lucas, play the track, mates.
3, 2, 1, 0.
We recommend wearing headphones.
This is the Aussie Gamers
Experience.
News, reviews, and outlandish fun.
Experience
It all.
That's right, everyone. Welcome to the show for this week. Today is Tuesday, the 14th of May, 2019. I am your host, Snoogs, and joining me for hosting duties, as always, is my very good mate, my brother, Greggio. How are you, bro?
Well, yourself?
I'm kicking along.
Kicking along?
Doing my bit pieces. Enjoying a week off, sort of.
Well,
It's going a little bit stir crazy, but it's a week off, so that's always a plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't complain. It's a high price to pay for a week off, but
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, I liked anyone that's seen stuff that I've put up on Twitter. I won't go into it here, but a few people have said, "Oh, you know what's going on?" Blah 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 blah. I've just put up a little GIF, and then just got laughter because everyone that asked me knew exactly what that GIF meant. So that was always good.
So what was the GIF?
A doctor standing there with scissors.
There we go. I think everyone gets it now.
Everyone can get it now. There you go.
Yeah.
Before we jump into it all, a big welcome to Skrill and Radicus. Hello. Hello, Radicus.
Boys.
And Skrill, welcome, mate. Skrill doesn't get to join us very often, so it's good to have him here too. All right, well, let's jump into it, mate, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right, this week in gaming. Going back to 2006, this is a game that's about to come up again because we're about to get a new movie. So I don't think the game will come up again because it was pretty poor, really. 2006 saw the release of X-Men, the official game.
Mm-hmm.
So did you actually play that?
No.
Yeah.
As much as I love X-Men, no.
Yeah. So it was developed by Z-Axis and published by Activision. Now, the game itself was supposed to be a bit of a bridge between the second and third movie. It had the voices of Hugh Jackman, Patrick Stewart, and Sean Ashmore. So for those who don't know or have been living under a rock, Hugh Jackman is Wolverine, Patrick Stewart is Professor X, and Sean Ashmore is... What's the ice dude? What's his name?
Ice Dude.
Ice dude, the freezy dude.
I can't remember. Sub-Zero?
That's later.
Sorry, wrong movie.
wrong movie. Those games are actually half decent.
Yeah.
So
The movies were terrible. They had it the other way around.
that was the other way around. Yeah. Yes. Well, there's actually I didn't go down too much of a rabbit hole because there just wasn't much for it. Unfortunately, I just saw it come up and I'm like, well, Dark Phoenix is coming out, so we'll have a look at some X-Men. The front of the cover had Wolverine on it, and it was, X3. It was released at the same time as the X-Men 3 movie.
Mm.
And, yeah, it's probably it. It wasn't all that exciting. No one played it, I don't think.
At that period of time, like, even leading up to that period of time, like, most superhero games were pretty average at best.
Mm.
Like, it wasn't until sort of the whole Warner Brothers Batman games came out where I think superhero games really started to actually go. That was one that was done real right, and everyone was like, "Yes, this is how superhero games should be." And up until then, it was kind of pretty bad. The only, and I say this with a grain of salt, and it was a glint of the Punisher game based on the movie with John Travolta and what's his face that played the Punisher, that movie. They had a game come out that was alongside the game. It wasn't a straight sort of. It was obviously based on being launched at the same time, as opposed to being based exclusively on the game, the movie itself, kind of thing.
Yep.
But that game was actually quite solid. I mean, it wasn't amazing.
It's still made.
It wasn't super amazing. Like the gunplay was a bit, on rails almost, but like it was still a decent shooter at the time. But it had the executions that you could do, which really sort of amped up the whole violence of the whole Punisher thing.
Well, that's the Punisher, really, in a nutshell.
And the dialogue wasn't terrible either. So, it was kind of one of those things where it was actually better than the movie, let's be honest. The Punisher's I'm hoping that the Punisher will eventually sort of be a bit like Spider-Man. They have for a while. Their Spider-Man movies been shit. And then they finally sort of dragged them out of.
I enjoyed the Punisher.
Don't get me wrong.
That original one, it was Thomas Jane, but I enjoyed that one.
Look, I don't get me wrong. I enjoy the Punisher movies. They're a guilty pleasure, but they're by no means a good.
Guilty pleasure.
By no means a good movie. They're by no means a good movie.
No.
So it's like the Hulk. There's never really been a good Hulk movie.
No, sorry, I've got to disagree with you because Ed Norton as the Hulk, spot on.
Go away. That was such a crybaby of a movie.
But it's Ed Norton. Doesn't matter. We're not talking about movies. We're not here to talk about movies.
There's never really been a good. And it's rare that you get like good. Both are good, but I guess Batman is now the is the example. You get a good game and a good movie. So,
well, this is true. Yep. So that's this week in gaming, the elongated segment.
Yeah.
Let's jump into the meat and bones of the show, and on to some game talk. Now, mate, we're going to start off with a new game that both of us have had a bit of a crack at. There's a few different people talking about it, or a lot of people talking about it actually. It was released today, and that is, of course, Rage 2. So I've got about 4 hours in it, and what I'm hearing is the main part of the campaign's only about another 2. Someone that was reviewing it played it on easy and got through it in 5. So I'm playing it on normal. Apparently it's about 6 hours long. But I'm in no way, shape or form following the main part of the story. I've already gone drive about and whatnot. But, mate, you were quietly optimistic, I think you said, last week. So you've had a little bit of time with it today. What's your initial thoughts?
All right. It's hard to have any because I've got about half an hour into the game, which means I've kind of got through the tutorial-esque part of the game. So I've literally got up to the truck and I'm about to drive out of the compound.
The first base, yeah.
And then PlayStation decided that it didn't want me to play anymore. It's like, no, we haven't downloaded the rest of the game. Piss off. So I kind of got stuck. Anyway, look, so there's a few things that I like already.
Yep.
The speed of the game is reminiscent to the old game because the old game did have that fast-paced feel about it. Like everything came at you super quick and you move super quick and everything's twitchy and all that. I get the impression Rem's not going to watch me play this game because she'll just be sick, which, funnily enough, was what happened in the last one. When she was watching me play that, she goes, "Oh no, I can't watch this. This is all too much for me." So that's good. I like that. The wing stick is, as I remember it, it's as lethal as it's always been. I've used 2 of the weapons, the pistol and the assault rifle, And normally, as soon as I get an assault rifle, that's all I use at the beginning of a game. But I very quickly went back to the pistol because that thing is brutal.
Yes.
It really is. Like, you can almost empty half a clip into a bad guy with the assault rifle before you drop him. But a well-placed shot with a pistol, and they're a one-shot kill. So, yeah, definitely sticking with the pistol for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the faster-moving enemies are a little bit harder to hit with it, so sometimes it's a little easier to...
That's where the spray and pray comes in.
Yes, yeah, pretty much. There's a few things that I'm not enjoying already.
Yep.
The story / dialogue already is sort of, I'm already looking at it and going, ugh, that's not good. I've already said to myself in my own head, geez, my character's whiny already.
Really? Already?
Already, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just going, yeah, I'm not going to like this dude. He's just a whiny bitch already.
Mm-hmm.
The like I said, the dialogue is a bit clunky, especially between characters, I've found so far, me personally.
Yep.
The animations are a bit clunky as well.
The animations feel a little bit old, yeah.
Yeah, so the facial expressions are also what are breaking the dialogue because they are lifeless.
Yes. I'll agree with you on that one, yeah.
There's a cutscene where someone jumps off a big kind of monster, lands on a platform, rolls, and then shoots two bad guys, right?
Yep.
Now, that should be, if you want to do that right, that should be smooth. That should be seamless. That should be, if you want to look like a badass, it should be like all this one flowing move. Everyone should die really easily. But what happened was it rolled off, landed with a thud. There was like a pause where the bad guys almost like didn't even look to see what the thud was. And then by the time they turned around, the person had composed themselves, slowly aimed their assault rifle to then like do a double tap kill.
Yeah.
And I just went, that was clunky. That was, the animation feels old. You're right. It does. It feels dated already, and that's a worry for me. And this is why I said I was quietly optimistic, because it's from Bethesda, and of late Bethesda have been cutting corners with a lot of their stuff, and I just feel like this is already starting to show in this game. At the moment, it's not enough for me to stop playing the game. But let me put that out there. It's not game breaking so far, but it is noticeable. And I don't know how long that will go before I start getting annoyed with it if I keep noticing it. Another thing I found that was a bit interesting is the way they introduce characters into the game.
Yeah.
The way that you'll be sort of playing and then all of a sudden a new character pops up and then the game almost stops and you have this like baseball card moment of this is such and such, blah, 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 blah.
I actually really like that.
Blah, blah, blah.
It flashes up on the screen and it's reminiscent of I want to say 80s action movies, but I can't. It's just got that sort of feel. I can't like pinpoint.
Yeah.
You know,
and in an action movie, it's really good, because you're almost, with a movie you're watching a story, but with a computer game you're living a story.
Yeah. And
so what happens is you might as well just hit pause and look at this and look at the process. Now you can skip it. That's actually something I really like. From the first playthrough, you can skip
everything.
You can skip everything.
Yep.
Right. So if you're not interested in story, skip. Just get back into it, kind of thing. And you can skip these when they pop up. I just find them immersion breaking because they seem to happen at like these critical junctures, because you usually meet someone at a critical juncture, kind of thing, and then it's like there it is, and you're like, oh, okay, I was interested in what was going on, and then blah, I got this big neon thing yapping at me about this person. Now it's good. I like how they've done it, but at the same time, I think it's just clunky. Like they could have done it a little better if just with a little bit more time and a little bit more polish, they could have made it a little bit more seamless, and maybe not at those junctures where it feels like it's pulling you out of what's going on, especially at the beginning. You're in the middle, you start the game in a fight. There's stuff going on everywhere, and you're getting used to this fast gameplay, and you're like, yeah, this is it, stop. This is this person, blah, 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 blah. Right, keep going. Stop. This is this person. That's a bit how it feels. So that's a little bit clunky. But that's about as far as I've got so far. I've used the first nanotrite thing, which is the dash. That's a pretty straightforward concept. It's just a dodge. This is nothing amazing.
Nothing blown away. And a lot of those things are mirrored. I have something. So in the chat, so we've got, like I said before, we've got Squirrel and Radicus in there. Radicus is looking forward to this as well, and he's asked, he's still getting it $69 at Big W, and that it's getting mixed reviews. Yes, I've seen a lot of those reviews that it's getting, and it's very mixed. For me personally, a nice, quick sentence, a quote, if you will, with Rage 2, there is just enough Doom to revitalise a very known gameplay. Now, the reason I say that is because the fighting sections where you're taking on the bad guys, taking on the goons, whatever it is you're doing, where it's that real, closed area, first person shooter style, it's phenomenal. The lighting is perfect, the gunplay is perfect, the feel, the sounds, everything just really ramps up, and you get all that sort of style of it. Outside of that, it's all very familiar. And when I say very familiar, I say it feels like you've played it before. Because it's very similar to a Fallout. It's very similar to the first Rage. It's, there's a lot of go here to do this. Before you can do that, you've got to go and do this. So there is all that sort of stuff around it. The big thing that I find though is it is just fun. That's the bit that I've enjoyed, and I've played a lot more than you. So I've been in underground sewer sections. I've been on the Monster Bash show or whatever it's called, where you're trying to make a bit of a name for yourself. So you're belting through goons and whatever monsters, whatever you're calling them, and you've just got to go through and kill them so that you can be videoed and put out and become the champion. And so it's just that part of it is just a lot of fun. If I had platinumed the Division, because I'm at the point now where with the Division I'm raid ready. If I'd platinumed it would pull me away until the raid. But there's not quite enough in there for me to divulge or dive headfirst into it completely. There's enough there for me to go, cool, let's have a crack. But not to go, shit, I'm going to spend 25, 30 hours this week on it. That makes sense. Yeah. And there's so much neon.
Yeah, there is.
Yes.
There's a lot of neon.
It is awesome. Yes, Radicus, completely different game to the Division. But I'm just trying to put it across as the difference in how they've grabbed me. Division I've already got, like I said, I've got about 4 hours in Rage 2. Division I've got 160. And yet it's still not enough for me to pull away from. So there's a lot of fun to be had, and the best thing that I can do for it at the moment is keep playing.
Yeah.
Keep cracking through.
And also, to answer another question Radicus brought up, it's not because I'm on the vanilla Xbone, because I'm playing on a PS4 Pro.
Yes.
So, which is apparently, from what we saw, what we heard last week, it's the best console to play it on.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't blame it on the console. It's just the game.
there is parts where it does slow down, but overall, I've had no issues running it on the Pro. It's running 1080-60. It's gorgeous. The explosions, the lights. I always find certain things within a game that I look at, and this is one I've been looking at in this because it is so open and barren. The way, like the area that you're playing in, the lighting effects are just brilliant. So can't complain there.
Yep. No, not at all.
All right. Well, the big thing is though, guys, keep a lookout. So between Greggio and I, we're doing a review on it, and that review will be up very shortly, and you'll get a full breakdown on what we think. All right, too easy. All right, mate. We'll leave that one there for now. Anything new in Forza? You tell me there's some news to go with that.
So yeah, there's some news and there is something new. There was an update in which we got obviously a new showcase remix, but more importantly, there's another new story mode to go through, another business as they call them, to unlock. This time in insurances. Look, I'm not gonna lie. This is the weakest story arc they've had so far. It makes zero sense. But look, it's challenges. You do them, you win stuff. That's really all I give a toss about. It's a bonus if the story's good, but in this case, the story is like literally. I didn't follow it. I was like, I have no idea what the fuck is going on. Anyway, that's irrelevant. So there's that. News-wise, with that latest update, there was some people who suffered from a glitch which erased their car skill progress in the game. So each car has like a skill tree attached to it, which you can use your experience points to unlock parts of that skill tree and give the car bonuses.
I did hear about this, yeah.
So after the update, there was a few people that turned on the games, and all of it had been reset back to zero. And so that was annoying, obviously, for a lot of people. But then they found there were some people that just sort of went, sucked it up and started unlocking stuff again, but found that every time they restarted the game, it kept wiping the progress, so they'd have to start back from scratch every time they turn the game back on. So
I'd love it. It'd be out the window.
Well, yes. So very quickly, Playground Games fixed up the issue of the restarting problem, but they said it was going to take several weeks for them to come up with a fix for the people who had lost their progress. They say they are going to have one. It's going to take them several weeks, but it will be out before update 10, which is scheduled for sometime in June. So it's good. They feel confident they can fix it, and it's just going to take some time. But they have at least kind of given everyone a kind of an idea of when it should be all done and dusted by those that were affected. Got 10 free super wheel spins. So hopefully they get some cool stuff out of that and not just some garbage clothing. Anyway, so yeah, that's...
There'll be some shiny silver leggings or something.
Oh, fuck me. There's like the bugbear from that game for me. It's
leave it
fucking clothing.
Leave it alone.
Anyway, go.
Go?
That's it.
Like I said earlier, I've been playing the Division 2 because that's just what I do. But some information on that. Update 3 is releasing today. There's a whole lot of tweaks. There was supposed to be an increase in the gear score from 500 to 515, but there was a bit of backlash about that because the 515 gear was only going to be in DZ because the DZ is just not populated. There's no one in it.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, the place to go for PvP, you've got the conflicts and you've got the PvP maps that you can do in the Division 2, and the Division 1, the DZ was feral. It was toxic. I enjoyed it because I had a build for it. I played the time. I got the build ready, and I had two specific builds that were just for the DZ. Outside in PvE, they just didn't work. So it was fine for me. So there's a lot of people that just aren't going in there. So there's this whole big uproar. That's gone out. Update 3 includes the raid. It's a 6.5 gig update, so it includes the raid. The issue is that the raid is not being done it's not being released yet. We should find out later in the week when it's going live. The detail behind that is they're fixing the gear sets. So you've actually got certain different gear sets, which are your premium sort of ones, and the way some of the gear drops, the skill based builds are very broken at the moment. They kind of work instead of, in D1 they had, if you had a good tanky skill based build, you would shred. It had the strength, but you had to know how to use it. Yep. And this time around, they're not right. There's still a lot of tweaking which is being done, which they know about and they've addressed. So they're doing all that. So what they're doing with all these little tweaks and whatnot, they're changing the way that the rolling works. And there's a whole lot of stuff in there which I'm not going to get into, but it's designed for this update to go live, people to go back in and rework their sets and rework their build so that they can get themselves ready with the rest of their clan to go for the raids.
Yep.
So should find out this week, and hopefully next week I'll be ready to go for the raid and be telling you about it.
Cool.
Telling you how many times I cried trying to get through it.
How many hours wasted and still no loot?
Where's my loot? Graveyard Keeper, mate. Still plodding along? Plotting along.
Plotting, yeah, plotting. Nice.
That's terrible. Yep.
Yeah.
I just felt Luke's eyes roll.
Yeah, I can feel him. He hasn't even heard it yet, and I can feel him.
Yep.
I've continued playing along, and yeah, I think I'm actually getting close to the end. So, look, I've been improving my graveyard, improving my abilities to make the bodies even better by injecting them with silver and gold and stuff like that.
Injecting them with silver and gold?
Yeah, so it improves the grave. Like if the body, it actually adds. I'm ornating the bodies before I put them in. So.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, look, it's interesting. Also gluing them and stuff like that to hold everything together a little better. Especially when you start taking stuff out, you're like got to glue it all back together.
Yep.
So there's that.
I just had flashbacks to the Haunting of Hill House. Ooh. The girl that's dead sits up and then like pulls her mouth has been sewn shut.
Right.
Because she's on an embalming table and she pulls the things out and then yeah, creepy. Anyway, sorry, mate.
Yeah, no, that's almost what happens. They just don't get up. Well, at least not yet. Anyway, so I've also completed the whole sort of merchant bishop quest line. I've helped the merchant all up. We've got a successful business selling fruit to the land, and the bishop has been reunited with his brother, and the church is a full-fledged, decked-out cathedral now, where lots and lots of people come and give me lots of money every week.
Nice.
Yeah, there's a few more things that I'm still helping the thief with his occultish ways. We had to kill a vampire hunter the other day who was coming after him, and the game actually glitched. I thought it was the best joke ever until I realized that it was a glitch. So what happens is he comes and tells you this vampire hunter is coming, to come and kill him, but we have to ambush him and kill him first. So he runs off, and you've got to collect stuff, as you know most RPGs are, so you can help him. So I collect stuff, dropped it off, and then he's like, "All right, we've got to wait for him." And a day ticks over, and he's like, can we, like, you make some comment about how long it's taking. He's like, just a little bit longer, and then a whole nother day passes. You're like, I'm really hungry, kind of thing. And he's like, no, he'll be here any moment, And previously he tells you that he's distracted at the brothel, right? And that's what's buying you time to get the trap set up. And then the third day rocks over, and he's like, how much time can a human spend in a brothel, kind of thing? And there's and then my game glitched, and it just kept rotating days. Me personally, I'm sitting here laughing, thinking this is the greatest joke ever, because it's almost racked over a week worth of time, kind of thing, in days. And I was just like, this is great. And then all of a sudden I just went, how many days is supposed to pass? So actually, while it's cranking over days, I get out my phone and check it, and it's like, it should only take, the guy comes on the same day every time, so it should only take the same amount of it should only take the amount of time it takes to get to that day. So if you do it the day before, all this joke happens in one kind of period, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh no, I've literally waited a month at this rate. So I'm like, something's wrong. So I quit out, came back in, started the whole thing again, and sure enough, after the brothel joke, it's another day, and then he comes along. What's even funnier now is that the guy that comes along, the witch, the vampire hunter, looks very much like Geralt.
Oh no.
And I can't remember exactly what he says as he's riding along, but he makes some comment about, how much he likes side quests and stuff like this. And then you drop a big rock on him.
Okay.
But either way, it's quite a funny moment. I think I recorded it, so I'll have to see if I can get it up on the see if it recorded properly, and then I'll have to see if I can get it up on the website or something.
Awesome.
But it's very funny.
Cool. All right. Well, last bit of game talk from me today, with very much big thanks and a shout out to Sony Australia. I got to go and have a go of Blood and Truth. Now, question, have you heard of Blood and Truth?
Sounds like the most fucked up teenage party game ever. You want to play Truth or Dare? No, I want to play Blood and Truth.
Blood and Truth is a PSVR game that's coming up. I believe it's being released on the 27th of May, if my memory serves correct, because I haven't written it down. Think James Bond.
Yeah, that's not where I thought you were going with that title. Blood and Truth. Think James Bond.
Yeah, well, it's kind of that. I was playing it today, so it's completely VR. You use the Move controllers, or that's what I was using today, and it is very in depth. Now, I only got to play a small section of it because this was the first release, so there's some more information coming, and hopefully on Friday I'm allowed to release all the information about it. But to give a bit of a snip, and because this comes out afterwards, you guys listening along, shush. It is so cool. Like I love VR, and I love just how in depth you can get. And so this one, so you're using a Move controller in each hand, right? You've got to reach down next to you where your holster would be and grab the gun out. Okay, you shoot, you run out of bullets, you use the controller in your other hand to reach to your ammo clip that's on your chest, and then pop an ammo clip into the bottom of the gun, reloads, and away you go. You pick up grenades, and you've got to throw them, and as you throw them, it flicks the pin out.
Yep.
And it is it's just brilliant. It kind of felt like Rainbow Six Siege, and then with this James Bond twist on it. Radicus in the chat. Yes, the London heist is a spiritual predecessor.
That's the one.
That's the one. Yeah. So it's very similar to that. Very Cockney. I had to when I turned up. There was a security guard out the front, and he reminded me of a Cockney bouncer. Even even his voice, and so I had to give him a password to get in. I played blackjack. One thing I want to commend the guys on that set this up. There was a blackjack table there, right? So this is where the big James Bond sort of thing comes into it. The idea for the blackjack was something else to do when you're not playing the game and not trying it out. So you get, they gave you some chips, and you go and play blackjack. And the person who has the highest winnings at the end of the day, that amount will be donated to the charity of their choice.
Oh, nice.
Now, just so we're all clear, it wasn't me. I got to a point where I'm like, yeah, this is cool, this is all right, I'm up. I had about $500 worth of chips, and the person who was in the front at that time was 920 or something along those lines. And so I went, okay, look, it's getting to the point where I've got to get out of the city because of the traffic and blah, 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 blah. I'm having a good run. Let's go all in. And yeah, then I went home.
Flipped the switch on you.
Yeah, then I went home. So
sorry, Snooks kids, but unfortunately, your benefactor has just blown all your money.
It's just all gone.
No Christmas for you.
No, it's all done. So yeah, so it was all just it was play money that was there, and the grand prize was going to be donated. So that I just thought was a brilliant idea. But the game itself, I'll give a full rundown in a review that should be up on Friday with some release information, some video, and some more pictures and whatnot of today. And yeah, keep an eye out for that, because it looks like a lot of fun. Just one other thing, sorry to get onto it. When you're sitting there, okay, and so you look towards cover, and then you push a button and you run towards that cover.
Mm-hmm.
Now, once you're in that cover, you're poking your head out. You've got these controllers up in your hands, trying to line up where the gun sight is. You put one gun away, you reach on your shoulder, and that's where your SMG is. And it's a good lot of fun. And it was all very, like, the controls were very tight. Now, I've played other shooters in VR that just don't work. And this one, it was all spot on. So make sure you keep an eye out, and I'll go through it in a bit more depth. All right, mate, on to the news, shall we? I'm going to start off with you, because this is a game I've been looking at for a while. I first tried this game out years ago. And by tried out, I mean someone sat there with me and showed little things that we could do in the game. It was that early on. So that is Dreams.
And for the longest time, I remember watching videos and going, I have no idea what the fuck this game's about. And there's a good reason why.
Yeah.
It's whatever the hell you want.
Yep.
In saying this brings me into this week's story. A fan is remaking the original Metal Gear Solid game in Dreams.
Oh, is that what the Metal Gear thing was about?
Yeah, so Bear Parker, who happens to be the community manager at TT Games, who's responsible for Lego Star Wars.
Yes.
He, at the moment, is creating MSG inside Dreams.
MSG. I think you meant MGS.
There's a video on YouTube about it. The link will be in the show notes. But if you watch it, it looks really good. It looks almost just like it. He goes in and talks about how some of the tooling and the limitations of Dreams is making some of the things tricky, and the fact that he's had to get creative around how some of the assets work in Dreams, so it's not so, I guess, space hungry, because you've obviously got limited space to work within for each level, kind of thing.
Yeah, yep.
But look, it's an interesting video. Have a click, have a look. I think it's wonderful. I watched it today. Luke watched it today and came back and said that's really cool. So anyway, it'll be in the show notes. So just check it out. It'll be in there. You just click and off you go. Check it out. Even press pause right now. Check it and come back.
Back and just sort of nod.
Yeah.
Yes, we agree with you.
And then when you come back now, it's like, see, how good was it? That was awesome, wasn't it? And now you're agreeing. You're like, yeah, that was really cool.
Alrighty. This one goes with a shout out to Radicus because he brought it to my attention today. Mortal Kombat. There is officially a new movie on its way, and it's going to be filming in South Australia.
Awesome. So it'll be Mortal Kombat. Hey. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fun. Radicus is in it. He's playing Johnny Cage.
Of course he is.
Yep. And
geriatric Johnny Cage.
Oh, don't be like that. That's not right. So that detail was released. Apparently, it's going to pump like $70 million into the economy.
Wow.
Wow. That's massive. And create something
almost all of South Australia's funding, isn't it?
I'd say to be close, yeah.
Yeah, they could almost build a whole new Adelaide with that money.
Yeah, but they won't.
No, I'm being way too harsh on Adelaide.
You are.
My brother lives in Adelaide. I should maybe while they're recording, I'll go down and see my brother. And, just go, hey, bro, here to see you.
Snoogs is Goro. Yeah, thanks.
Ooh.
I'm too pretty to be Goro.
I like how I took the piss out of him, and then he just went, no, I'm gonna snipe back at the Snoogs.
It's whack. There you go. And the other big thing, it'll generate about 580 jobs, which I thought was pretty cool. And pre-production is beginning this month. So I dare say they'll be, scouting sites and blah, 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 and doing all that bit pieces that it does. And that's actually kind of cool. So it's good to see that it's in the spotlight, because there's been a lot of movies made in Australia that, go unnoticed, but the fact that they're spruiking this, the bit that I hate is that they bitch and moan about the game when it comes out here and it's got to be downgraded and all this crap. But, yeah, good. Film it, away we go. Can't wait to see it. It'll end up being like
hopefully
mine.
It won't suck.
Yeah, it'll suck, but it'll be a guilty suck. It'll just be a guilty pleasure thing. It'll just be one of those, yeah, this movie's terrible, but I'm still going to watch it anyway.
Yeah, look, so do you think, here we go, I'm going to pose a question, and you know what, everyone can answer this, hit us up on Facebook and Discord what you think it's going to be, but in the grand scheme of things, do you think it's going to be, on a scale of Mortal Kombat to Annihilation,
oh god,
where do you think it's going to sit? Is it going to be better than the original? Is it going to be in between the two? Or is it going to sit well below? I mean, I don't think that's possible, but below Annihilation.
Well, given that it's going to pump $70 million into the economy, dare say that it would have a bit of a decent budget behind it. So hopefully it'll be up there with the original. See, the original's got it's got that nostalgia to it now. We watched it when
classic now.
Yeah, we watched it when we were younger, and it was good. Yeah. If we were watching that now, we'd go, "What the hell have you done?" But it was good, so you can still switch your mind off, and the graphics were terrible and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, who knows? Who knows? Hopefully they'll get it up there. Yeah. So I don't really know if there's much you can do with the Mortal Kombat story, so to speak.
Oh well, fighting tournament to save the Earth.
Yeah, that's just it.
That's the only premise that there is Even the stories in the games, that's the only premise they've ever run with.
That's what I mean. I don't think there's much you can do with that. But we'll see which way it goes. Mate, let us know about grip.
Grip. It's getting less.
Less grip? Less of a grip on things?
Well, so it's getting a free update, and it's called the Airblades update.
Airblades.
And what it's doing is essentially you've got all the vehicles that you can play in grip as. Then they were going to have a second variant in which they remove the wheels and put these Airblade hover parts on them. So you can either play wheeled or not wheeled. So I kind of got a little bemused about the fact that Grip is now adding hover vehicles to a game that essentially is premised on grip.
Driving upside down, yeah.
So
upside
yeah,
down,
and that's
back
the
to
other
front,
thing.
all that jazz, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so when you're upside down, I know that hover tries to push you off the ground. So when you're upside down, gravity tries to do that as well. So instant death, is that what that is?
Maybe. Maybe.
Look, who knows? Okay.
Or maybe it's just going to go upside down and give physics the big finger. Who knows?
Yeah, look, I'm going to say that it's probably going to do that. Fuck you, Newton. Anyway, like I said, the update's free. It's now available on PS, PC, and Xbox, and it'll be coming later this month on Switch.
Nice. Awesome. Well, mate, I'm going to jump into State of Play for the PS4.
Do it.
Now, the first State of Play, a lot of people got up in arms about and said it was shit, this, that, and the other. I actually really enjoyed it. The only thing that I said was that it needed somebody out the front to engage with audiences. It was too stale, it was too corporate. State of Play Part 2 has released, and I believe it was last Friday, so just before the last show came out. And again, just a video, no one out in front, person doing a speakover. This time around, though, I've got to admit it was pretty poor. And, you know, I'm a self-confessed fanboy of the PS4. You know, it's I don't deny it. I enjoy it. That's where I play a lot of my games on. So I like to know what's coming up. You know, it's always good to get a feel of what's out there. But you know, they released a new limited edition PS4. It's grey. Okay, that's all right. You got a new look at another look at Final Fantasy Part 7, which you know I'm looking forward to that. I played Final Fantasy 7 way back when, and couldn't get like I liked the story, but I could not deal with the mechanics. So the fact that this is turning into more the style of Final Fantasy 15 and the mechanics that are in that, I'm really looking forward to it. Plus, it's one of the best stories told, so that's good. And it was another sort of, you know, tidbit, little tease that we now have to wait until, I think, September, November before we get any more. A new game coming out called Predator Hunting Grounds. Now, this was the highlight of the show. And it was a 15-second highlight. Okay?
Yep.
So I'm sure you can hear in my voice the disappointment. Predator, so the Hunting Grounds reveal, for anyone who doesn't know, there are Marines or, you know, armed forces people walking through the woods. It goes up above and you see the shimmer of the cloaked Predator. That's it. We're done. Predator thing comes up. Medieval, the release date's confirmed. For some reason, it is not written here. There'll be some info up on the Aussie Gamers Experience website though, so check all that out.
I have to admit, I'm kind of excited for that.
Yeah, so am I.
Shit out of that game.
Yeah. So that looks good.
Charming.
Yep. New add-on for Monster Hunter World, a dungeon crawler thing called Riverbond, but it kind of looked like a mobile game. It was just that 8 pixely stuff. And then there's I don't understand this one. I think it's called Away. Now, it's a survival series, but you're playing as like a... Well, you're playing as an animal.
Yeah,
And in this one in particular, it showed off like a sugar glider.
Yep.
So, adventurous, ambitious, yes. Very early on, I didn't actually particularly like the way that the movement animations were done. It just looked robotic, I suppose. And what a sugar glider is supposed to walk like. And if you don't, you should, because they are the cutest little things. But it just looked a little bit robotic. But I'm sure that's going to come along. And that's it, mate. It was 8 minutes. And it was bang, 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 bang. I don't understand it. I don't understand this standoffish approach. I don't understand. Like, I know they're out in front. I know they've won the generation. They've done all this sort of stuff, but they have such a massive and loyal fan base behind them. It just feels like they're just like, okay, well, we're Sony. We're not, we're not looking at it from a gaming point of view. We're just like, okay, just do that. Just pump it out. Just give them that. Just let them sit around and watch something. It's like, well, you've probably sat in a room like my office to do this. You can't even make yourself a little green screen or something and have someone that actually wants to get out and spruik. Like, I've met some of the people from Sony in Australia. I've met some of the people from Sony overseas. I've met Sean Landon. And, I know how charismatic a lot of these people are. I just don't understand why they're not utilising it. And especially when you look at the other side of the fence and you've got Major Nelson, who is all about spruiking. He's out the front. He's showing it off. Everyone knows who he is. Doesn't matter what side of the fence you sit on. Everyone knows who Major Nelson is. And I think that's what Sony need.
Yeah.
So, so that's it for State of Play. There is a video up on our YouTube channel. You can see my disdain live if you choose to. I was unimpressed, and I could not hide that I was unimpressed. I'm usually pretty blank. I'm usually pretty level with a lot of that sort of stuff, but this was just that was, it's time to go. I'm like, what do you mean it's time to go? We've been here for 8 minutes. There you go.
Well, that's 4 minutes too long.
Oh, well, who knows? I don't understand where they're going. I don't understand what they're doing, but I'm hoping they've got a reason for it. Anyway, mate, Xbox on the Switch.
Indeed. But before I get into that, when you're talking about the sugar glider, I had this thing pop into my head. Do you remember as a child, and we're going to have to regress right back, right down to some low-level, single-digit childhood.
Okay.
Do you remember Peter Coombs?
Yes.
He had a song about sugar gliders, and that song just popped in my head while you were talking about sugar gliders.
All right. I'm going to write it down. I'm going to look for that afterwards because it hasn't popped into mine.
Well, look it up. It's almost as sweet and cute as the animal itself, in a way that only Peter Coombs could do. If there's no licensing issue, I'm sure Lucas could pop it right in here, but there might be. So let's just leave it there.
Radicus, we are not sad.
We're not sad. I'm just look. Things pop into my head. I talk about them.
Memory lane. That's all it is.
Yeah. Some people will be like, "Oh yes, I remember that song," and those are the people I'm appealing to. It might not be any because I know our demographic in this show are probably too young to remember who Peter Coombs is. But
next week, Bananas in Pajamas. See, Radicus knows the song because he knows the time frame.
Well, he was the producer for the ABC back then.
All right, what's this with Xbox, mate? On the Switch.
So Xbox on the Switch. So some hackers have gotten in and hacked hacked a Switch,
Mhm.
and they've the person in question here is Voxel9, who once again did a video showing how he had put the emulator, which I like to call XQEMU, because that's what the letters spell out for the name of this Xbox emulator, and has loaded it onto a Switch.
Okay.
The video shows him turning it on. It's running some code for the emulator, and then sure enough, the original OG Xbox home page comes up with all its flashiness, and then he navigates through the menu, and then proceeds to load up Halo Combat Evolved and starts playing it on a Switch. The
Nice.
frame rate is low, but it doesn't crash. It's solid. Anyway, he goes on and he does some other stuff with it. Once again, if you're curious, the video link is in the show notes. So yeah, look, it's cool. There seems to be since people have started cracking Switches, it seems to it's almost its own little subculture thing now of, what can we load on there. There's people doing stuff with Sega Genesis, lots of old Sega stuff, even trying to get some old Nintendo stuff going on, like there's someone trying to port an N64 into it. All sorts of cool and funky little ideas with these hacked Switches. So yeah.
Going to be a lot of jailbreaking, eh?
Yeah. Jailbreaks aplenty.
All right. Well, going on with the Xbox, this is pure speculation. This is pure rumor mill stuff, because I came across this today. The website that it was on had to be translated from Spanish. So take it as you will. But
Yep.
I've found out the box art and the release date of Gears of War 5.
Ooh.
So some background information. Well, straight up, release date's apparently September 10.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Gears of War 5 in the chat, and I'll put something up on the website. So Aussie Gamers Experience theagexp.com, and I'll put some details up on there as well. But yeah, we've got box art, which is just Gears 5 with Kate as the main.
Mm-hmm.
The main head. So I've just put that up in the live chat, and yeah, so there's very little information on it. It's got possible launch date, and then they're just drawn conclusions. Kate's the protagonist, but it seems that there is some other character that will be present. So
Yeah. So this we already know, because there's already sort of a trailer out for it.
yeah,
And it shows that Kate will be the main sort of story arc, and there's another person that goes with her. I assume who's kind of starts, from what I can tell, starts off as kind of like a informant on the situation that is Kate, but then
yeah, because she leaves JD behind, doesn't she?
yeah.
Yeah.
But I get the impression that he will go from being spy/informer on the situation to I'm seeing this for what it is, and I just want to help.
Yeah.
That's my take on it.
What's your take? All right. Well, that sounds like a good take anyway. So, yeah, so like I said, it's all very speculative, apart from what we've seen in the trailer, but hey, it looks good. It's got like a little watermark on it, so someone's gone to some trouble, if that's what it is. But it looks cool, so who knows?
Look, and as we know, the Spanish are really good at letting things slip, as was in the news today. Did you read about in Spain? They thought they had a really good idea of creating a 38-foot slide for public use.
No.
So what they did was they created this 38-foot slide which was designed to shortcut this 10-minute walk downhill kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you had to walk down this road and it winds down, and they said, or you could just take the slide. So they put this 38-foot metal slide, which was reminiscent of the slides that we used to go on when we were kids. You know, the proper metal ones.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as they got like 2 minutes of sun, you could fry an egg on them.
Yep.
You know, or give a child third-degree burns.
Yeah. And Spain is such a temperate climate. Yeah.
Exactly. So it was closed again within 48 hours. It was labeled a killing machine.
Yeah, I just about to, I'm getting throwbacks of like just funniest home videos where the kids go shooting off the bottom of them, or hell, I've done it. I did it down at Jamboree.
Yeah, look, 38 feet isn't small.
No,
and it's got a serious incline on it, right? There's decline, sorry, and it's got some bends in it. I assume
you'd get some speed.
I assume someone who did not have an engineering background just went corners equals braking ability.
Yeah, either that or it's Jeffrey Dahmer's grandson or something.
Yeah. So one lady smacked her head on the way down.
Mm-hmm.
Another person said she was ejected 2 meters from the bottom. Like she got banged around on the way down and then got ejected 2 meters when she hit the bottom.
We have got to find video of this, and then I'm going to put the Benny Hill theme to it.
Yeah, look, it was fun, and I only bring this up because, you know, like I said, Spain likes to let things slip. So,
all right. Well, something that hasn't slipped that we actually have it from decent sources: the E3 schedule.
The E3 schedule. That's right. This is a little bit more solid than a 38-foot slide. So I have a couple of names. They're not all the names that you'd be expecting to hear, but these are the ones I have, and the rest are either yet to be pinned down or are going to be slotted amongst inside some of these shows. So on the 9th of June, we'll be starting off with Microsoft at 1 p.m. Now, these times, I haven't translated them into Australian times. These are Pacific times over in the US.
If you give me 2 seconds, I can actually pull up the Australian times, because this was going to be mine. So Microsoft is 6 a.m. June 10. And that's Australian Eastern Standard Time.
Yep. All right. So from there on, then following that, we have Bethesda, who will be at
June 10, 10:30.
Then we have Devolver Digital, who's at...
Don't have Devolver.
So it'll be an hour and a half for that. It's 7 p.m.
Yep.
So whatever the hour and a half is after Bethesda.
Midday, yep.
Then the next day, we have the PC Gaming Show that will be 10 a.m. Pacific time. So whatever that is over here.
Oh, that'll be like 4 a.m.
Yeah, it'll be super early.
Yeah, super early our time,
early.
Yeah.
Yep. Then you will have Ubi at
6
1 p.m., which will be 6. Yep.
Yep.
Square Enix 8 hours later at 11. Yep. And then the next day we have a 9 p.m., which is 11
which is 2
for
a.m.
Nintendo.
Yeah, 2 a.m. on Wednesday the 12th is Nintendo.
For Nintendo, yep.
Yeah.
So some of the ones that I'm missing. So EA will be there, but they'll be there the 2 days beforehand on the 7th and 8th, doing their own EA play thing, which is what they've done in previous years anyway. But they're just not having a...
They're not having a showcase yet.
They're not having a showcase within E3 itself. So that's happening the 2 days beforehand. Project City Red have listed that they're doing a thing for Cyberpunk, but it's unknown whereabouts in the show it's going to fit in the moment.
Yep.
I would suggest that probably it will be where it was last year, which was Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
Who else are we missing that we'd be interested in seeing?
That's pretty much it, mate. I don't think there's anyone really as a standout.
Yeah, look,
You know,
there's
Ubi's
a bunch
got
of other
what
stuff.
Ubi does, but
Yeah, look, there's a bunch of other stuff. That's literally, if you have a look at the the website for it where they've released the schedule. You see, there's a bunch of stuff that's listed as being confirmed as happening, but have yet to be slotted into a place or yet to tell whereabouts in the show they're going to be, whether they're part of another showcase or something smaller. So
I have a feeling the PC showcase will be a bit it'll be a bit more talked about this year. It's one of those things where a lot of the multi-platform things previously were the big stages with Xbox or PlayStation, and now it's just not going to be there. Will the new Xbox show up, as Radicus has asked in the chat?
It's rumored.
Look, it is rumored.
Look, I'm gonna suggest it's probably a good effort. A good chance we'll hear something.
Yeah, I think we might.
Opposed to nothing.
We might hear something on it, and it's also a big anniversary for FanFest as well. So with Xbox, so there's all that to tie into it. So it could very well all play into it. Skrulls talk about a Switch Lite. I believe that's already on the cards, mate. And Kazza, of course, comes in with the sex bot.
I can tell you right now that there's some stuff that Bethesda says that they won't be talking about.
Mm-hmm.
What were they? They're off the top of my head. I didn't write down notes. I saw it. Two previously talked about games. They're the main ones. I think it was Starfield and Skyrim.
Elder Scrolls, yeah.
Elder Scrolls. They've pretty much said, don't expect anything from that. We're not going to talk about it. So,
I don't think they'll talk about those two.
No.
they're too far away, and I think they're taking a bit of a hit this year anyway. So they've been pushed back a little bit, unfortunately, I believe.
Yep.
But Ubisoft is going to be there.
Yep.
And Ubisoft have just released a trailer for a new Ghost Recon game. So coming off the back of Wildlands, we've now got Ghost Recon Breaking Point. Now, there's a lot to go through in this. And to be honest with you, I just haven't yet. Pretty much you're going after, you're not going after gangsters or anything like this. You're going after other ghosts, other agents. So you've got to subdue them. Seems to be a lot more tactical than Wildlands was. I think a lot of people, that was the issue a lot of people had with Wildlands. I enjoyed it. I platinumed it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just that was the big thing I sort of found out. So they've shown a whole lot of information. Like I said, there's a lot to go through. I'm going through some information at the moment, and digging it from here, there, and everywhere because, well, for some reason the guys at Ubi haven't sent me the direct information from them, but I'll put something together because I enjoy the Ghost Recon games. The big thing is it's going to put the whole game system to a test, and they want it to excite people for years to come. So it looks like there's something they're going to build on over a while, and Ghost Recon itself, Wildlands, has just gone into Season 2 now, so yeah. No, Kazza, we are not checking out that game's uncensored patch. No. We know all about it, not doing it again. Sorry, mate, what was that?
I was just going to explain on what the story's is going to be. So it's going to be an idea of you're a ghost stranded behind enemy lines, you're injured, you have no support, and you're being hunted down, and it's kind of a survival and gain ground and fight back kind of thing. You will be playing against your ex-brothers in arms gone rogue, called the Wolves, and you'll have to. They're claiming that they'll be the toughest enemies yet. So their leader is called Cole D. Walker. Yeah, so you'll be able to team up with your friends again. There'll be experience will be shared progression from the main campaign to PvP. And once again, it's just they're also talking about 4-player raids.
Yes, I did see that. Yeah, very high level situations that will be co-op only and highly replayable.
So yeah, look, I think it's they're taking Wildlands and they're just making that concept better.
It's building on it.
It's
Nice.
Yep, building on it. So
All right. Well, I think that's it for news, mate. Well, let's jump into some last words. All right, mate. Any last words from you this week?
my last words. Once again, just if you've got a game you want me to play on Game Pass and hear me talk about on the show, let me know, and either on Facebook or Discord or wherever, and I will jump into it that week and get back to you the following episode. So hit me up
and no Kazza, I can see that you're typing in there. He's not playing that one.
It has to be on Game Pass, man. So keep that in mind.
Well,
but yeah, look,
Kazza said Splitgate.
I'm really excited. Splitgate. Okay.
And
Go
Radicus, Splitgate is a free Steam game. Well, I can try that.
No, it's on Steam.
I can try that one out. And
Sure.
Radicus has said the mountain bike game.
The mountain bike game. Is that what it's called, or am I going to have to just go trolling through?
The name is
The name escapes me. Yeah.
It's a mountain biking
Right.
game. Actually, I think I know what he's talking about. All right. Other last words from me. Make sure that you keep an eye out on all the channels for when I go live, because not only are we playing Rage 2 this week, but I'm also playing A Plague Tale: Innocence. Now, Plague Tale: Innocence is set in turn of the century France, or maybe even a bit older. Simple story, very in depth, and you're trying to survive the plague, pretty much. You've got rats swarming around you and a whole lot of other stuff. So I haven't started playing it yet. There'll be some more info and a review that'll go up eventually. Once I've got into it and played it to be able to review it, that's when it'll go up. So that'll be getting streamed if ever anyone's wanting to have a look. All right. Other stuff that we've got, just our usual shout-outs. Radicus, Skrill, Kaz, thanks for jumping in, guys. It's always a pleasure having everyone here. We've got a plug for that, Lucas's That Other Show. Make sure you get over and check that out I believe it's on iTunes and YouTube. And of course, Aussie Gamers TV, Snooker Vision on Twitch, and Gretcho XBL over on Instagram for all the sexy car pics that you put up. Get in and have a
They're
squeeze.
sexy.
They are sexy. There's some very sexy ones in there.
Car porn.
Car porn and
Kaz
death.
and Screw put it.
Ka-chow.
Bam chicka wow wow.
All right. Well, to close out the show, thank you very much to everyone that has listened to the show, and especially those that are still listening this far along. A super special thanks again to the guys that are chatting along with us. Okay, and throwing me off topic with stuff they're putting up in the chat. Thank you as always, guys. Greg. Thanks for joining me, mate. Kaz comes in and just throws a spanner in the works. Luke, thanks for all your bits and bobs you do in the background, mate. Always good. To all of our listeners, feel free to continue any of the topics that we discussed on this show on our Facebook page or on the Discord channel. To get in touch with us directly, of course, you can email us at info@theagexp.com. And while you're listening, don't forget to leave us a review or a comment on your preferred listening platform. As usual, links are in the show podcast, show notes, and description below. And all over the place, wherever they go. Who knows? Anyway, that's all from me. As always, I am Snoops.
And I have been Greggio.
See you all next time.
Ooh, okay, that's the end of this week's podcast. And if you found yourself shouting at your speakers in disgust or maybe even in pleasure, make your way over to our Discord server and make a comment in the appropriate channel. Failing that, you can also have your say over on our Facebook page, or you can just tweet at us. Searching for the Aussie Gamers Experience will usually lead you in the right direction, but you could just use the set of links that are in the show description. This podcast is available through Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, iHeartRadio, and plenty more. Thank you very much for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode of the official podcast of the Aussie Gamers Experience.